What if I told you that an hour or so from Madrid, you can touch a medieval fortress, see a saint's actual finger, stand beneath a Roman aqueduct older than most countries, walk through the castle that inspired Disney's Cinderella, and see a solid gold monstrance insured for millions of euros? Oh, and taste the best Rabo de Toro I've had in my life. This isn't just a day trip. This is a time-traveling, jaw-dropping adventure from Madrid. So let me show you the 3 cities you can't leave Spain without seeing.
Hola amigos!
Now we're gonna show you the things to see and do in Toledo, Spain. Our tour with Get Your Guide started with a scenic bus ride from Madrid. You can also get to Toledo via train in 30 minutes or bus in 15 minutes, but the city center is a 25-minute hike uphill unless you grab a taxi or a local bus. Look at this view. Toledo rises like a storybook, perched on a hill and wrapped by the Tagus River like a moat protecting ancient secrets. Bienvenido a Toledo. When we were here before, we were not able to get to this panoramic viewpoint. So that's what advantage of the tour bus. It's more convenient. That time we took the public transportation and it was really doable too. From here, our bus dropped us inside the city walls, passing through the residential area where Toledo's elite once lived. Then get ready. We enter the city via the tunnel of escalators. Yes, escalators. It feels like an Indiana Jones ride. Then boom, light floods in, and bam, that view. Then we walk to Plaza de Zocodover, once a marketplace, now a plaza packed with tourists, pigeons, and possibly your new favorite snack. Toledo is known as the city of 3 cultures, Christian, Muslim, and Jewish communities coexisting, and it really shows in the beautiful blend of architecture here. Look around, the architecture is a blend of medieval and modern. Peek between the buildings and you'll spot the Alcazar's tower, watching over everything. We head toward Plaza del Ayuntamiento, strolling down a lively road packed with shops and the occasional street musician. It's touristy, yes, but keep going and you'll find hidden squares, stone walls with ancient carvings, and alleys that whisper with the echoes of Christian, Jewish, and Muslim history. Toledo is also known for its marzipan and swords. So we're now here at the Toledo Cathedral, one of the most magnificent Gothic churches here in Europe. Toledo's crown jewel, the cathedral. Gothic spires reaching skyward, a tower that looks like it could host a lightning storm, and intricate sculptures. Look for the Last Supper and the depiction of Mary right above the main door. It took over 250 years to build this, and with every archbishop wanting to leave their signature touch, this place is a mashup of Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and neoclassical drama. It's like architectural jazz. But first, another quick snack, because let's be honest, our stomachs need to be full before our minds get blown. I also need to stop tripping on these cobblestones. Where's my skywalk shortcut? I should follow these 2 grandmas who seem to have better balance than me. We detoured to El Café de las Monjas for marzipan, a sweet treat made from almonds and sugar. Think edible clay with attitude. Toledo is known for it, just like Avila is for yemas de Santa Teresa. Yes, candied egg yolks. Saints had sweet teeth, apparently. Back at the cathedral. Holy Toledo, literally. A maze of pillars, 500-year-old stained glass windows. There are over 80 of them. The rose window alone could hypnotize you. The high altar, gold-plated woodwork, and a biblical storybook carved in 3D scenes from Christ's life, topped by a 9-foot crucified Jesus. The choir across from the altar has carved wooden stalls below, regal upper stalls above, 2 massive pipe organs, and a Madonna and Child watching over it all. Surrounding the high altar and choir, 24 chapels, yes 24, each one an art museum in itself. And in the sacristy, you'd think you walk into a mini Prado. El Greco's Christ in a scarlet robe stares right into your soul, and masterpieces like Goya, Caravaggio, Velázquez, Bellini, Tristan, and many more are on display. But wait, the treasury! This is 10 feet of pure jaw drop, built in 1517, more than 400 pounds, 5,000 plus separate pieces, 12,000 plus bolts and screws, 260 figurines, and enough gold and jewels to fund a kingdom. At its core, a 35-pound solid gold smaller monstrance, which is the vessel for the consecrated host, is over 100 years older than the outer shell. It's insured for millions, and once a year during Corpus Christi, this gleaming tower parades through Toledo's alleys. Imagine turning a corner and bam, you're face to face with its holy bling. Lunch is at Restaurante Tornerias. Gazpacho, refreshing. Croquetas de jamón, comforting. Rabas de calamar, crispy. Costillar asado, full of the bone. And Rabo de Toro, unreal. So far, the best I've had. Andalusia, you've been warned. There's much more in Toledo, like the Army Museum in the Alcazar, Santo Tomi Church with El Greco's Boreal of the Count of Orgas, and even old synagogues turned museums. It's where three cultures met and made magic.
Hola!
We're gonna show you the things to see and do in Segovia and Avila, Spain. First stop, Cuatro Postes Viewpoint.
Look at that behind me. Avila is giving a full-on fortress vibe. There's the new city and the historic center. So the historic Avila is part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, including its walls. So those walls go back to the 11th century and they are still standing strong. Whereas my phone battery is now currently at 28%. So if medieval people who built those walls have no cranes, Google Maps, AI, then what are we doing? So Avila is known as the city of saints. There are probably more saints here than Starbucks location. And two of the most prominent saints here are Saint Teresa of Avila and Saint John of the Cross. More on them later.
Second stop, Basilica of San Vicente, a Romanesque gem built over 4th century martyrdom site. Its intricately carved facade and vaulted interiors will leave you speechless. Then it's time to walk the wall itself. Yep, you can stroll on top of this 900-year-old fortress. Enter through one of 4 gates, then it's cobblestone galore. This rectangular square is Avila's old heartbeat, lined with arcades and anchored by the town hall and San Juan Bautista Church. Is charming with a capital C. We pass a statue of Saint John of the Cross, a poet, mystic, and reformer who helped shape the Carmelite order to its core ideals. Then we arrive at the Saint Teresa of Avila Convent, built over her birthplace. This isn't just a church, it's a pilgrimage site. Teresa was a writer, a reformer, a saint, and yes, inside the museum, some of her relics, including one of her fingers, preserved. If you're not Catholic, you're probably going, wait, what? But relics like this have biblical roots in the book of Kings and Acts and even in the Gospel of Matthew. For lunch we hit Las Murallas for cochineo asado or roasted suckling pig and chipperones or baby squid. Crunchy, juicy, divine.
We just got to Segovia and that aqueduct is wild. 2,000 years old, no mortar, and still standing. Meanwhile, I trip on flat surfaces.
The aqueduct is the star. Its purpose? To transport water from the Frio River to the city, and it's constructed primarily from unmortared granite blocks, held together by precise fitting and balance. Roman engineering, folks. Earthquakes? Segovia's held firm through history. From the aqueduct, stroll up Calle de Cervantes that becomes Calle Juan Bravo, stopping at a viewpoint to admire rooftops, bell towers, and green fields. On the way, spot the House of 1,000 Beaks, a spiky Moorish-influenced building. And just a few feet away is Plaza de San Martin, where the statue of Juan Bravo stands proudly. He led the local nobles in a revolt against the rule of Charles V, but the nobles weren't always united. They were often caught in feuds with one another, so their towers were once fortified to defend against rival clans. But during the reign of Ferdinand and Isabel, nobles were ordered no more tall towers. That's why some houses here still sport cropped towers, like medieval noble families get a bad haircut. And there's the 12th century Church of St. Martin with a Moorish-style minaret-like tower and the Christian Romanesque clustered columns. Keep walking past La Colonial Plaza and this cozy cafe, and this stretch of Calle Juan Bravo lined with shops, including crispy torresnos or fried pork belly and hanging jamon that looks like meaty chandeliers, plus rows of chorizo and chalchichon. Hard not to stop and snack. Look down, you'll see scallop shells carved in stone, guiding pilgrims to Santiago de Compostela. Then arrive at Plaza Mayor, once home to bullfights and executions. Now is a peaceful square with cafes and the elegant Segovia Cathedral towering overhead. At first sight, the cathedral stops me in my tracks. Its soaring spires and delicate buttresses rise like something out of a dream, graceful, silent, and almost weightless against the sky. It doesn't shout for attention. It simply is calm, commanding, and utterly beautiful. I feel small but not diminished, just quieted. Then I step inside. Cool air, stillness. Light filters through stained glass and spills across vast stone columns that stretch like tree trunks into a vaulted canopy. It's like walking into a sacred forest carved from stone. The noise of the world falls away. Every detail, every echo feels intentional, eternal. I came expecting grandeur. What I found was peace. We're now heading to the crown jewel, the Alcazar of Segovia. From the serene sanctuary of the cathedral, walk to the formidable silhouette of the Alcazar of Segovia, where history takes a bolder, more adventurous turn. Walls whispering of knights and queens, towers reaching skyward like sentinels guarding tales, as epic as the cathedral's prayers were profound. Walk over the drawbridge and look down. Below is a deep moat. Step into a hall where knights never left, at least their armor didn't. This dazzling collection of swords, spears, and enough shiny metal to blind a dragon shows off centuries of royal firepower with dramatic flair. Imagine Game of Thrones but with better interior design, golden ceilings, royal thrones, and enough heraldry to make a peacock blush. These rooms scream power, all while whispering, "Please don't spill wine on the tapestries." Then enter the Hall of Monarchs. It's a royal roll call carved in wood, 22 larger-than-life kings lining the walls like they're judging your fashion sense, with a jaw-dropping Modihar ceiling and centuries of Castilian grandeur. This hall is basically Spain's most regal yearbook. Oh, and the epic floor-to-ceiling arch windows that frame the sweeping countryside like it's auditioning to be a painting. It's part throne room, part power gallery, and 100% medieval flex. Climb to the tower terrace, almost 360-degree views. The countryside rolls forever.
It is rumored that this inspired Walt Disney's Cinderella castle. Honestly, I believe it.
My inner princess is screaming.
Yes, Line's inner princess fully activated, imagining herself not just Cinderella, but Cinderella upgraded to Queen Grandma, ruling the kingdom with grace, wisdom, and orthopedic shoes. I've never felt more royal or more winded. With a majestic castle behind me and the stunning Segovia skyline in front of me, I sat down for a moment and pretended that I live here. Segovia, I'm going to miss you. Back on the bus, views of the countryside and the snow-capped Sierra peaks drift past the window like a dream, serene and untouchable beneath the wide blue sky. From ancient walls to golden treasures, Roman marvels to fairy tale castles, these day trips from Madrid are absolutely unforgettable. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me which one blew your mind the most. Until the next adventure, hasta pronto. Istolino Milan.